What's up, everybody? Time for the Insomnia Chronicles with Peter Keys. What keeps you up at night? I'm here with my good friend Jim Jonsin and Yelawolf. A couple
Jim
fantastic
Jonsin, this is
artists.
Yelawolf over here.
I'm Yellow Johnson.
Yellow Johnson and Jim Wolf.
Yellow Johnson.
Yeah, we're here in Nashville, just kicking it. Want to talk some shit, drink some coffee.
Yeah.
Want to find out what keeps you up at night.
Big Yellow Johnson.
Big Yellow Johnson. That's the name of your new band, right?
That's right.
Yeah, Jim's a fantastic producer from Miami. Did all kinds of like platinum, whatever, million-selling records and in the hip hop world, and came up to Nashville. Jim, what's it like being in Nashville with the hip hop head?
Well, I'm in Nashville, sitting next to Yelawolf and Peter Keys from Leonard Skinner. Nothing better than that. That lets me sleep well at night, actually.
Nice.
Like, it's great. It's a new place for me and my family, and getting to know the lay of the land out here. So many talented musicians, but I'm actually from Broward County and Palm Beach County. But moving from there, what a difference, South Florida has a lot of talented people as well, but it's just different. I think you can't throw a rock here without hitting somebody that plays guitar or piano or...
Oh, yeah, here in Nashville.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The bartender's just as good as the guy that's just got off stage at Bridgestone. You know what I mean? It's like that out here. So I dig that about Nashville.
But yeah, I met Jim, 6 months ago? Maybe a year ago?
Maybe longer than that.
Yeah.
About a year and a half ago, actually.
Right, but I met him through you, right?
Yeah.
Through Wolf. And,
Yeah. How'd that happen?
I don't even know. It was just like one of those
Working on
organic
your
things.
last project, Trial by Fire.
Oh, yeah.
And you put us on FaceTime.
Yeah.
At
Where did you
and
guys meet? How did you hook up?
Wow.
I went out to New York City for a conference with Big John Platt, EMI. And it was some of the best writers in the country there. And we're all sitting in this room discussing publishing and songwriting camps and
Let me add that it was like the
placements.
15th floor of a high-rise in New York City.
Yeah. And, I'm kind of interested in what's going on. I like that stuff a little bit, but I was more like just kicking it, and meeting people. And then this guy, Yelawolf, comes in to perform, like literally in front of everyone. And that's how I met Yelawolf.
So it was
I
like
blown away.
Dude.
It's like a showcase you were
It
doing?
was a showcase.
Man, everything was a showcase back then. I didn't have a deal, so we were in New York with Kawan Prather, which was basically L.A. Reid's right-hand man, and Kawan had signed Outkast and T.I. and Pink and John Legend, and so I was his next artist coming. So we still didn't have a deal, though, and so every time we went to New York, it was a fucking audition, like all day. So when I walked into this room, I remember that day, and I remember jumping up on the conference table, this long conference table, and just going hard with a demo.
Was this Trunk Music or before Trunk Music?
This is before Trump Music.
This was like 2006 or somewhere around there.
Dude, you said something
6.
that's like dope. Like,
Yeah, because you were at my house for Thanksgiving in 07. I remember that.
Yeah.
I totally believe that and live by that. Like every day's an audition. That's like how, kids are like, hey man, how do you make it in music? I'm like, well, you do it like your life depends on it. Don't quit. Don't be a dick. And every day's an audition. This isn't a fucking dress rehearsal. It's like for real. You can be replaced. You will be replaced. If you don't show up with your A game all the time. So, I'm glad that you said that because that's,
That's true.
kind of how, I think that's how you make it in any creative business, right? It's like you bring your fucking A game up. I remember you said a couple things too, like I dress like I'm ready to get on stage all the time,
Yeah, he's told me that, and I've shared that with other artists that I work with. Like, dude,
Right.
when Yelawolf comes in, he's dressed
Right.
He's getting ready to go on stage or go to bed. It's all the same shit. He's just ready, right? I think that's how we all need to be.
Dig it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a double-edged sword. Too. I just last week bought my first house, and there's still a suitcase by my bed with my clothes in it. Like, I'm ready to go. And I've been living out of a bag forever,
Right.
you know. But the benefit to that is that I am ready. And then with my kids now too, I'm like, yo, get your clothes on. But we're not doing anything today. Get your clothes on.
Right.
In
How
case
do you know we're not doing anything today?
something happens?
Right.
Be ready. Be ready.
Right.
Get your clothes on. So
My house
I get that
is
from my
like
mom though.
PJs on the weekends all day. It's like, come on, man. No. Hey, the other night we went out and my wife is dressed. We're ready to go, and our neighbors show up with these elf pajamas. And Janelle changed into pajamas and we went out. Like,
Well, dude, Billy,
but it was a great outfit.
fucking
She
Billy
looked real
Gibbons
nice.
lives in that shit, man. If you ever see ZZ Top, it's like, if he's not in his stage gear, he's in the dopest pajamas you've ever seen in like a 7-Eleven buying fucking Spam or whatever. I'm like, what the but he's always prepared, man, even like in his pajamas. I think that's dope, man.
My house needs a little work on that. My son will come down 4 o'clock in the afternoon in his underwear. All his sister's little friends are all in there like, who's that? They're all little girls, you know. Put some clothes on, boy.
Love it.
But anyway, yeah. So that New York trip, seeing Yelawolf perform, I was blown away, as was everyone else in the room. And I told my manager, Danny Dominguez at the time, dude, get me in a fucking room with that guy right there. Figure this out. Let's do that. And I think that night we were in Sony Studios working.
Yeah.
Me, him, Frank Romano, a couple other guys.
So that fast from in the day you were dancing on the table, and that night you're in the studio.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's where our marriage started.
That's awesome. What led you into performing and into hip hop and into writing?
I'm not sure what it. There's like a number of things that brought me into music, but early on it was just my household, man, and my mom's lifestyle and where we were going, and you know, we jumped around from place to place, you know, 15 different schools, and between Alabama and Nashville, Tennessee. I moved to Nashville when I was 7 years old, and then I was here till I was 15. So
you're rooted in Nashville, right?
yeah, there's a lot of the formidable years were spent. A lot of those years were spent in Nashville, and my mother was married to Randy Travis's stage manager for around 7 years. Those 7 years, we were pretty much right in the thick of
the business.
Yeah, music business.
Right.
And prior to that, she was her long-term boyfriend, which was for the 5 years before that, was Aerosmith and Ted Nugent and REO Speedwagon and 10,000 Maniacs and Alice Cooper.
So you came up with the whole like southern rock scene from like the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
You know.
So there was all that mixture of music. I had a wealth of great music around me, and a wealth of really talented musicians, and that was just the fate of my life. Yeah, I had, you know, it's nothing I really asked for, but just accidentally I just was getting pretty much a perfect recipe of tasteful music, because, you know, the people that were around the house were very picky about what they listened to.
Yeah,
and, you know, they would critique it and the quality and the sound, and or they would talk shit about bad artists, you know, and
Right.
so there was always that element in my household. So that's kind of what
I remember. Like one of the first times I met you, working with you, listening to the music that you were making, and I was like, holy shit, this stuff has like psychedelic rock, funk, like crazy sounds, flipped beats, you know, musically stuff that I don't hear in like regular hip hop, right? Mm-hmm. And that really kind of blew my mind. I was like, wow, this kid must have like a really deep understanding, or at least have been listening to the right shit in coming up, and that, you know, the way that you've been able to put that into what you do it's definitely unique and super compelling, man. I was like, wow, okay, I can have fun with this shit. So
yeah, that's how Jim and I got along so well. 'Cause we're pretty much cut from the same cloth as far as like, you know, some of the pieces of inspiration, like early Miami bass music and rock and roll and heavy metal, kind of all, you know, when we make music, we'll sit and listen to classic rock for the first 30 minutes.
right.
You know, Journey or like Kansas or some old, you know, old Led Zeppelin records, and we'll just kind of veg out on 70s to 80s rock and roll, and that's how we usually start our sessions.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, yeah, there's that element. All of those elements are here in Nashville.
Right.
Like,
And the Nashville through line, you know, that's the other thing that really blew me away, is the way that you take the acoustic instruments or throw a fucking banjo on there or a mandolin or something that just didn't belong with, say, a Zeppelin, you know, drum and bass type thing. And I think that's really what set it apart in my ears as the listener. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, man, because it has that authentic Nashville feel without being country music, or, you know, what they're calling country music now, you know. So it's, I don't know, I think that's an important part of what I like about what you're doing, you know.
It's interesting for Wolf to be an artist that listened to all that, was influenced all that same music I was growing up, and to see, you know, looking where hip hop is today versus where it could be, you know, it's truth be told, it's just like somebody missed something. You know what I'm saying? If what you grew up listening to and all the influences that go into your music, or even the music we do together or apart or whatnot, it seems like computers and drum machines and all the things that we all use now cut out
Take the
the
life.
hard work of putting an acoustic guitar, a banjo, or a live bass, or all those things which we always use. And then when you hear a record made that way with people like us who actually know the digital stuff as well as the acoustic stuff, it has a certain sound that it's hard to duplicate.
Right, it's a hybrid.
And with the younger artists today, they're on their laptops taking bits and pieces or samples of things that it's sort of like, you know, the early 80s of hip hop, where they weren't playing musicians, or they weren't doing that. They were just sampling pieces of it. And it was cool. And they figured out something, because I was part of that as well. But there was a difference with the original Trick Daddy Let's Go track that I made versus the one that I had Big D play guitar and bass on. And it was huge once we did that. The sample itself was cool, but when we replayed everything and we made it bigger, it was better to me. I think today, I really like to see that influence happen for some of these young artists and let them start using it in their music the way Yelawolf uses it in his. Like,
Well, you guys are killing it with that stuff. I mean, just coming from my background, you know, playing with Funkadelic and P-Funk and being on the stage with like 23 people, you know, all coming together for that one sound. Like, for me, that's that whole picture. Without the digital part of it and the sampling, though, everybody sampled George, you know, I think they were drawn to that because of the vibe that the live thing created, right? There's always a dangerous element of like, who's going to fuck up and miss that note, or who's going to fall off the stage, or, you know, what's going to happen. But that, you know, that gets captured in that live part of music. And, you know, I love what you do live. Like, you've got a band that you play with live, and it's, you know, fucking smoking guitar player, killer drummer, fiddle player on top of tracks. So it doesn't feel like it's, you know, compressed and pre-made. There's that element, the same element of danger, you know?
Yeah.
Like, is it gonna go off the rails, or is it gonna fucking handle it? And I think that's where that like electric, wow, what the fuck moment happens, you know?
Yeah, it's like it just that was earned. For me, I earned that. I earned that band. I earned that presence on stage, because it wasn't always. It's hard to pitch someone a vision for something that doesn't really make sense for the time, and so you have to fight through trends and fight through what people think is acceptable. And so for, hip hop has been and will always be what you make of it, and it's the most broad genre of music to flip because it is sample based. It started by sampling records, just break beats, back and forth, break beats, and then they started adding this. So just for the simple fact that the genre was created off of samples means you either sampling a sitar,
right,
or you're sampling a banjo, or you're sampling a flute from Native Americans, or you're sampling a fucking bagpipe from Ireland, or
right.
You're sampling a
right.
fucking whatever it is. It's
so there are
literally
no rules.
Yeah, there's no, like, bluegrass is traditionally no drums.
Right.
Right? Fiddle, guitar, upright bass, mandolin,
yeah.
banjo, no drums. Like,
maybe a washboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a genre that's very locked in,
right.
Hip hop is anybody's sauce. So, but the problem with, the double-edged sword to that is that it's dangerously easy to make.
Right.
So it's like, especially now, like, fuck,
Well, I think what separates the men from the boys in this isn't necessarily the music and the beats, but the message on top of it, like the delivery of the lyric and the performance and the personality behind that, that, and that's another thing that I've really noticed in watching and working with you is like your cadences, the stuff that you're talking about and the way that you're saying it stands out and it rises above the noise, or like Jim likes to say, it moves the fucking needle, and that's.
There's, I had a writing session this week, and this writer, she's in town from London. She said she did a few writes while she was here, and she went from one studio to the next, and there were two different producers playing the same loop in a different tempo, and it was like a sounds, or like a, what's that, splice.com or one of these places.
Right, online.
You can literally go in there and grab a unique guitar part and whatever it might be, even drums and all that, and your song can be made in 5 minutes, full on. EQ'd, compressed, the whole thing. And she said it was really strange. We're like, well, I'm sorry, but I just left the studio and that
they were doing the same
thing. Like, what is that?
That's Nashville.
So to me, it's the new version of, like, if you grabbed a hold of like an old Parliament record and flipped it, you would take that and Yelawolf would do it his way.
Right.
And then I would probably somewhere in the middle of Spain somewhere sample it and do a hip hop record a completely different tempo or a different way, because hip hop was always like, you could hear the undertone of a sample in there. But today it seems like, now with the way things are on like the splice and all, they're just grabbing it and using it. And it's a cheater code, It's the artists that create the music like Yelawolf does, that in a few years people are going to look back and go, thank God for this guy, because if not, or there's a lot of other artists as well, but if not, we'll end up down this road of non-musician cut records that
just sit in that gray space, right? Like, here's all the noise that's just, you got to rise above, and then somebody's got to break the mold, like fucking Nirvana did. I'm waiting for their Nirvana of the 2000s or whatever, listening to what's going on in country music and being here in Nashville. I'm like, man, if you write the same song every time and give it to a guy with two first names and fucking, it's like, what's the point? Why do you even listen to that?
Yeah.
So, that's Anyway, that's what's up with that.
Well, that's one of the things that actually keeps me up at night, if you want to know the truth.
Right,
It's just I'm not a person that needs to control things. Really, I'm pretty free-flowing, but I feel a sense of responsibility when it comes to what music is and what it's going to be for the future of our kids and all that stuff. And like, I think Yelawolf is their Nirvana moment. He is one of those people.
Yeah.
I think there's select people that are out there like that, and there's some more that are, you know, coming up. There's artists that we all work with that are coming up that are really inspiring, you know.
Yeah.
So it's happening, but it needs our influence. It, you know, Yelawolf needs to be also the guy that's in a couple of years producing some of the artists and overseeing it, executive producing it.
You know, it was funny.
And making sure that they're not fucking putting out.
I was like lying awake last night with insomnia, going, "What am I going to talk to these guys about?" Because like I respect so much what both of you guys do, and I was thinking, man, you know, we get to be the OGs now, right? It's like, at what point does that switch happen where, you know, you go from trendsetter to groundbreaker to, you know, you earn your stripes, as it were, and then, okay, now we can actually start shaping what's happening with the new kids coming up. And that's kind of where I feel like, you know, I'm at a position in life where I'm finally, okay, I've done my exploration of like what performance is and what the running around the country is and all that stuff. Now, how do I get to that next level? How do I break into OG land, you know? And it's, I don't know, that's what keeps me up at night, you know? So that's what's up. That's what's up, and that's what's up over there. I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
This is Peter Keys, Insomnia Chronicles. We'll be back in a minute with Wolf and Jim Jonsin. That's what's up.
There's a science behind that. Man, I took my wife out to dinner the other day. We went to sit at a bar. Actually, we were going to a movie. And we sat at this bar in Brentwood, Cool Springs, Brentwood. And as soon as we sat at the bar, my phone buzzed, then it buzzed again. And then she went to the bathroom, and I checked the email, and I responded real quick. Then I clicked on Instagram. Just why not? And then by the time she got back, I'm like in Instagram, just looking for no reason, just aimlessly, just in there.
Right. One more.
And that was like, that's an embarrassing thing for my wife to be sitting with her husband at the bar together, and there's several other people around with their significant others, and I could tell she looked at me in a way like, really?
Yeah.
And I thought, oh shit, it's about to go down now.
It's like watching porn over her shoulder.
So I get off it, and I could just see her eyebrow just change position. I'm like, yeah, she's pissed.
What'd you say? Watching porn
over her shoulder while you're fucking.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's not just me.
Come on, I'm the only one.
Maybe.
She goes through it. I watch my daughter Bernique go through it. You know, I'm at Thanksgiving dinner, and there's 8 people in a room, and they're all, instead of being with each other, you know what I'm saying? And that's just where we are. There's no bitching and complaining about it. We're here.
Oh yeah,
where we are. You know what I'm saying? We wanted spaceships and cars that fly and shit, and you wanted hyperspeed stuff. This is what we got, information all across the world, right? But I think that we're going to learn to manage that.
So we sold out the moment,
we're definitely in a growing period. But I've seen, like, even in the past, like, 5 years, like, younger artists, like, in their 20s, or, you know, late teens or early 20s, start to really be reclusive and more studied on what they're doing, which I think is dope, because I think that they're starting to realize, you know, a 15-year-old kid doesn't really know what they love yet. Well, unfortunately, it's too late. They've already broadcasted online what they're so passionate about.
Right.
I mean, what if we had that opportunity? It would be disastrous.
Yeah, what was it like at 15 and 16?
Yeah.
Dude, I was a fucking maniac. What would I know? Give me an iPhone? Fuck out of here. You can what? That's insanity. Like, oh, this is what I like now. Yeah, but you're gonna be so lame when you're 25 looking back on this bullshit that you co-signed at 15.
You
Well,
were
what do
wearing
know?
a Teletubby fucking outfit to high school. What?
Yeah, like what, or whatever they're doing, like, you know, whatever it is right now. So there's definitely like a fucking a science of, you know, controlling your involvement in the fucking ether.
Yeah.
You know, like
It's a
you
good
gotta.
one. Yeah.
You gotta have a temperament about how you let that affect your opinions and your style of music, if that's what you do, or
Right.
any kind of art for that matter.
You need to
would you-
govern the engine, know how to tune
Yeah.
that thing.
I mean, would you
It's
say
hard to
that life today is a commercial, basically, for, you know?
It's a full-on gloating system of everyone, from your face to your shoes you're wearing.
Yeah,
Everyone's
yes.
promoting themselves. There's a family called the YouTube family that all my kids watch. And the daughter, the son, the other daughter, the mother, the father, they all have their own individual channels, and then they have a family channel. Millions, hundreds of millions of views.
And they never talk.
They're making 30, 40,000 a month each, maybe more, on YouTube. There's people that are celebrities that aren't supposed to be celebrities.
That's a real mind trip.
There's kids that are opening toys that are getting 40 million views from children. And that's like the game that's what we're in. That's the world we're in now. That's the craziest
What?
thing. You should see some of it. It's you know, I watch my kids.
Really?
Like,
Were you making that shit up, or did you
this
just
is real. I
they
watched.
open eggs?
So if this, say like a new toy comes out,
Uh-huh.
some kid who's able to get the toy will go buy it and then show you what the toy is and about the toy and all that. And millions of kids will watch that just to see what the toy does and what it is. And there's kids that do that. There's one kid, I think he's like 8 years old, made like $4 million last year.
Jeez.
Playing with toys to show you what they do.
Now, do we thank the Kardashians for that, or it was? I mean,
it's just
like,
the way it is. People have been doing that, you know, like, yeah, like what's the girl's, Kylie Jenner? Her makeup pack, like her deal makeup pack for like Black Friday was like $100 for the whole thing. All my daughters want it.
right.
It's because she's promoting it so well and she's doing it. I mean, is that any different than Revlon? I mean, good for her, but at the end of the day, it's just a super fast way to get your stuff out. You know, he's got a huge network of fans and people that respond to whatever he digs. So if he says, that ring Jim's wearing is great, here it is, he promotes it, well, that whoever he just promoted that for just got like a freebie business opportunity. You know, and
for that, it's, you know,
it's really cool.
it's great, you know?
Right.
Really, it's like a, and there's, you know, not to bash the internet, you know, there's good and bad, and there's a lot of truly like genius humans
Yeah.
that are discovered every day, artists and musicians and young savants, you know, that are playing amazing instruments. And so for that, it's like, it's really amazing, you know. But I think, yeah, like going back to just if the human evolution is, as far as social media is going,
So they're fun.
it's happening
The
right
experience.
now. Yeah.
It's
And
almost-
I don't know how long it's going to be free. That's the other thing.
Right.
Like it's not. It can't. I don't know. You know, there was like there was talks of them shutting down free internet.
The net neutrality.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Which is like. I mean, that would suck for a lot of people, but you know, if you had to pay for it, would it be so violent? With those same people that don't give a fuck,
Yeah.
would start giving a fuck if they had to pay for their service. And so I think that's not such a bad idea. I know, like when I was a kid, and when you first get your phone and you gotta fucking pay for the phone, you gotta pay for the phone bill and pay for the service.
Right.
You're watching how long you're on the phone,
Yeah. Yeah.
or you're paying attention because that's costing you money.
Right. I've used up all my fucking gigs, man. I can't
So
get.
if it costs you your money or your freedom to even use it, then I think that would help kids stop being so cruel to each other. people. And
it's almost like the world we live in. Here we are. It's this human experience, and to escape it, you have this online experience, and you could be a whole different person. You looked at completely different. You could have more confidence. You can have, people all over Texas who like you, but people in your hometown don't. It's like, it's really a weird thing.
So like, if you feel the need to be loved with your online presence, right, does that make you like an authentically loved person, or are you going to go fucking blow your brains out because it's, all faking in 2 dimensions? I don't know.
Well,
right?
I wouldn't say I'm a cocky person.
I don't want to get
not really,
dark, but
I just, like if I wanted somebody's opinion, like I don't really care about it, but I'm going to get it. Yeah. So I post up something or do that just like if he does or you do. But I'm just so confident that I don't really give a fuck what you think or say, or none of that none of that even moves me at all. Say something positive, I'm cool. Say something negative, I'm like, yeah, what? Anyway, this is amazing. What you're talking about is whack. Even if I'm in a room and somebody's like, I don't know if I really dig that thing you're doing, I'm just thinking, yeah, because you just don't fucking know. This is amazing.
Yeah.
That's the way my mind works. I don't give a shit what you think. These fucking scrambled eggs I just made are amazing, dude. Taste them. You don't like them? Something's wrong with your palate, dude.
Exactly.
But that's the way I feel inside. I don't always express that.
Right.
But that's my inner argument. That might be one of the things I can't sleep at night because I compromise so much, and I'm sure you do as well. We do when we're in the room together working. There's things that you're really like, yeah, and I might be like, I don't know.
This is the dopest part. You're like, no, it's
or you do it to me like I have an idea, and you go, oh, I don't know, maybe that works better. Like, hey, that harmony doesn't really work well there. I'm like, dude, that harmony's great there. So
you
it's
have
these
to have
things.
the right amount of arrogance in this game to fucking be successful, bro. You have to be ignorant in some ways of your folly, because if you're so fucking like, you're. For me, it was like, it's like this childlike confidence that never leaves you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you have to look back on your bullshit going, God, that was so stupid. That song was so whack. That thing I did was so lame. But if you don't walk in there,
sell it.
And you gotta sell yourself.
Right.
To sell it.
When I showed you the image of the Beat Bakery thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I showed it to you, both of you guys, because I respect the way you look at things. That's a scary thing, because for me, it's like we're right on Front Street getting ready to drop this. I've already agreed it's going to go, and that's the look. But we could still switch up a little bit. And to get your input was important to me. But it was also scary because I'm like, fuck, man. If they don't like it, would they totally shit on it? Then I'm going to sit back and go, because I respect your opinion. Mm. However, if I didn't care, I'll post it online. I could care less what the other folks think because I got the response I needed from people I trust, right?
Yeah, respect.
So that's really kind of what you have to do, and especially with these kids on the internet, they have to feel confident. Like Wolf was saying, you have to have that inner. Well, it's hard to have that young confidence because that is to jump off the cliff. It's easy as a young person, or to haul ass on the dirt bike or do shit. Jump that jump. That confidence as a kid, that's that dumb confidence always there. But you're still insecurity. Your insecurities lie in other places. This fucking pimple I got right here, and the way my nose looks, or dumb shit that people deal with. Young kids get that.
Can't save everybody.
Yeah.
I guess, as a creative person, there is a certain amount of insecurity with everything that I do. It's like, is that note right? Is that part right? Am I gonna fuck this up? And how do I combat that? And like what Wolf said, it's like you just own it, step into it, and fucking believe it. And like, even if you don't believe it, put it out there. And that's, to me, that's one of the main tenets of being a creative performer or artist. It's like, get it out and make that fucking mistake, fall down, but
you have to. It's fucking, it's crucial.
I mean, I've said a million things that I regret already just today, right, sitting here with you guys, but it's like, that's how you get to the next part of the conversation, I think.
I've done the second guessing, third guessing. I mean, I think I've learned over the years how to produce music in a more, I think I enjoy it more now because I would make a track or beat, we'd come up with a song, and then the song would go to mix. It was always this hurry up offense, you know? And now it's more like, we just created a song, let's tinker with it a little bit, let's change that. I'm gonna go down to the basement tomorrow and mess with it a little bit.
Yeah.
And take more time in it, and it
Right.
comes out better.
That's
something better about it. And that's me second guessing, or like the people I'm working with. And then sometimes when I feel like it's there and I'm working with other people on it and they don't feel like it is, that gets frustrating. Those are the times where I'm like, man, don't touch it. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know, like you're just speaking about Fifi's record. I think that song, Neon Jesus, is really fucking good, but it's like 3 or 4 tweaks away from great.
Yeah.
What that is, we have to find that before just dropping it. We have to, you know, tinker with it a little bit. We've done that hundreds of times.
Yeah.
On songs.
Making mistakes, and I mean, just like, yeah, your patience. It's like you've filtered out so much shit over the years that you're never gonna, obviously. All right, this kick drum, I've tried it 10 times. It's never fucking worked. I'll never use it again, ever in life. This one did. This one did. This one did. These always work all the time. So boom, there it is. I got that. And over the years, you compile all these working elements.
Right.
That's when I think a real like long-term career is possible for someone after you've accumulated a number of working ingredients.
Yeah.
That work all the time. And that's kind of like the sauce for each individual artist. Because and then when you collectively come together, the room's full of all these
A-game
chefs,
shit. Right.
basically, you know?
Right.
Like doctors.
Yeah.
Took 10 years to get this good, man.
I've got my spice rack
so
from
good the way you
India,
just
like
said
the
that.
actual curries from the fucking, yeah.
Yeah, and when
Yeah.
and we could come together like, oh, dude, everybody here is great, you know? And then the next battle is dumbing it down.
Right.
After you get all fucking great, it's like, this is too good. Let's pull some sauce out of here. Let's pull this back down. Let's make this more palatable to people.
More accessible.
Or else we,
Yeah.
you know, if I was just on my own shit, man, I would be like, it would be like spaghetti almost. You know, just lines going everywhere. You know what I mean? Like whatever, all this shit going on in my head. Fuck, man, I have to compartmentalize my ideas in order to make a song. And because I could write a whole album about that flower on the carpet.
Right.
I could make 1,000 songs up about just how many ways to break down that shape. You know what I mean? And so like that's the battle. Getting
what
great
keeps
sauce and then like trying to like make that, saving shit. Tell your whole life story in 3 minutes or just talk about the toaster.
That's my favorite part of the whole process is that chaos, like right when you're getting into like, that you haven't found the super cool perfect part yet, but all these ideas are flying out and it's like, okay, yeah, that could do that could be there, no, that's all fucking wrong, and then boom, that one thing happens and then you hear the fucking hook and you hear the, just the part, that's, to me, that's that moment of creation is like that's why I keep coming back to it, just for that satisfaction.
That I would wish for kids that are coming up to experience that magic that happens in the studio, because there is a such thing.
Oh yeah.
And if you never experience that as an artist, you're not an artist yet.
Right.
I don't think, I think that to go in a studio bone fucking dry, completely silent, to leaving with a completely original piece that could alter your life, change other people's lives, build a career for yourself,
help people through
do things, feed your children. Who knows, man? But the magic of that shit, I still trip out. How the fuck did that happen? We've only been here for 4 hours, bro.
Right.
And we have this fucking crazy piece of music. Where did it come from? How did we even, you know? And you never can fucking redo it.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
The minute it's done, it's gone. It's gone forever. It's only sitting there, ready to be mixed, mastered, and it's out. Could never go back and redo Pop the Trunk. Never. That happened the way it happened. I couldn't do Till It's Gone. I couldn't do any of these records ever again. They'll never
Well,
sound.
you
even
captured that moment.
Yeah, and it's like, how the fuck? And you always wonder, though, you always want those records to happen again. Like, how many times can we make this
Dude,
happen? You can't.
The first day
I
I
have an
something
idea.
else.
I have an idea. You just gave me an idea. I don't know if this should be probably off the record, but yeah.
What keeps you up? What keeps you up at night? Won't you help me understand? What keeps you up? What keeps you up at night? Won't you help me understand? What keeps you up? What keeps you up at night?